Hey guys, so I'm back with another process video after I don't know how long, and I'm sorry you can see my robe there, like the fuzzy pink thing on my hands, but I forgot I was filming. So anyway, so I'm starting my Rome album, and I just took these two photos, and since I haven't scrapped in quite a long time, and I was sort of haphazardly in the mood to do it, I was sort of forcing myself. I decided to do an 8.5 by 11 page just to make it easier for me to complete. So I knew I wanted to have a border around the white cardstock. So I was debating on whether to use the pink or the bluish, like the royal blue color. So these are some photos that were 4 by 6 and just cut down so they would fit nicely on an 8.5 by 11 page. Oh no, actually I didn't cut them down. They're vertical photos, so yeah, sorry about that. And then I decided I was going to bust out my A4 size papers, and I'm really sorry if you can hear all this traffic now, and I also apologize for my voice and if I might sneeze at some point because I'm a bit sick. So I'm pulling out blues and some pinks. And this floral, which I love that paper, by the way. See, sorry about that. So then I thought I might mat the whole photo on a piece of pattern paper. So I'm testing quite a few options out because, as I said, I really have no clue what I'm doing because I haven't really scrapbooked in a long time. So then I decided I was going to fussy cut out some of these flowers because I love the pink, but the blue just didn't match the chair in the photos. So I won't make you watch me fussy cutting all these flowers, but I'm just going to fussy cut that floral cluster there. And I'm just using a standard scissors, so there that floral is done, and I'm just going to layer it over the two photos there. And then I also thought I would cut out these little small ones, and I'm going to put them right with the big cluster there, just sticking out a bit. So a lot of fussy cutting. Well, it's not a lot, but I don't usually fussy cut stuff, so it's a lot for me. And then I also really liked that cute little butterfly, which I cut out as well and stuck next to that cluster. And also the floral theme sort of goes with my pictures because my sister's wearing a shirt with a flower on it, but because otherwise it was just a picture of her on a bus doing some silly faces and whatnot. So I just layered those pieces there, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue some stuff down, and yeah, that's not what I'm going to do. I decided I was going to do some mixed media because that always helps me jumpstart a layout. So I'm just using some blues. I'm just going to use the packaging technique and create a little blue space to layer my floral piece on. So yes, so if you don't know what the packaging technique is, which I highly doubt, it is basically using any sort of media, and I usually use watercolors and just add a lot of water onto the piece of packaging, and then I just smush it on the background paper. So I'm putting some of this blue at the top and bottom of my photo sort of cluster. And then I'm also doing some sprays, some splattering, I guess, with my brush, but that wasn't really working, so I hand drew some circles on there. And I'm a bit impatient about the drying factor, so I just stuck my photos right onto the page, and I am hoping that they won't get destroyed. So I knew I wanted something at the top as well, so I'm playing around with the idea of putting a butterfly up there, but I ended up putting two at the bottom. And then I went through the Amy Tangerine stitched 6x6 paper pad, and I am only going to use the little strips that come at the top of the paper pad, like the sort of branding strips, the ones with the holes in them. And I'm just going to use a slight bit of those. So I'm taking this gray one to put under the cluster there at the bottom, and then I'm going to choose a yellow one for the top in just a little bit. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to mat this layout with, so I'm just playing around with that again until I decide on how I want to proceed with the layout. And I couldn't decide that either, so I just made the decision to finally get some stuff stuck onto the page. And as you can see, I'm using my brand new ATG gun, which was giving me a really hard time because when I originally went to fill it with the tape, I pulled the tape out, so the tape is lifted up in the gun, which means that the roller part thingy keeps coming off. But I've then used it quite a bit, and it's all straightened out now, and I love it, so that turned out to be great. So I glued those photos together so they would act as one piece before I stuck them down on the background, because as I said, it's not dry yet, and there was my struggle with the ATG, and I cut quite a bit of this out, so it was getting really annoying. So I decided to just use it on other stuff that was not scrapbooking related, like school work, and I've made it pretty straight now. So I'm sorry that the layout is cut off, but at the moment I'm only working at the bottom, so I'm just gluing everything down because I know that's where it's all going to go. Now I'm also going to glue down those little floral pieces, like the tiny little ones, which I accidentally cut the flower off one of them, so I'm just attaching it into pieces there. So what am I doing now? I really do not know. And I'm sorry guys, I should have edited this out, but it escaped me. Oh, here I come back with the strips, and this is where I'm going to pick that yellow piece, hopefully. Yes, that polka dot, because I've used most of the 6x6 paper pad, like the actual sheets, but I don't want to throw these out, so I've been using them quite a bit actually. So then I decided I'm going to cut a smaller floral to layer at the top there because it just needed something. So more fussy cutting. Also, once I'm doing this, I would like to mention that I made this layout 3 weeks ago from the day I'm doing the voiceover, and today is April 5th. And I only have 2 more days of school left, and then I have 2 weeks off. So hopefully I can get a couple of layouts in. Hopefully more than a couple. But I am going on a swim meet in another country for a couple of days, and it's also Easter, and I also have to study for the final exams of the year. So I am gonna have all day, but I won't scrap as much as I thought I would originally. Anyway, just giving you a heads up that I'm hoping to get a couple more process videos done during Easter. And also on April 16th, we're going to have another, which I know is Easter Day. It is the 3rd installment of the Challenger Stash YouTube Hop, and we will be using a tic-tac-toe challenge, and I'm really excited about that. So make sure to check that out, April 16th. Okay, so then for the little butterflies, I'm just using this Bic glue, and I think it's just called Bic white glue. Let me just grab that. Yes, it is white glue, and I stole it from my sister, which she was using it to do some sort of paper mache or something like that. I don't really remember. Yeah, so for the tiny pieces, I'm just using that glue there. And here comes ATG again. So at the moment, I'm thinking that I'm going to border my layout with that pink polka dot that you barely see there, but I won't end up doing that. So I'm also going to glue down these top little pieces here with that white glue, which is really good glue. I really enjoy it. I should get more of it. Oh, now I'd also like to mention that, yes, this process video will be included in a playlist all about my Rome album, and this series, let's call it, is like documenting travels, and it's specifically for Rome. And all of my process videos for the Rome album, and perhaps layout shares and album flips, and the intro, which should be uploaded before this video for the Rome album, will all be in the same playlist. So if you're interested in documenting a recent trip and want to do an album about it, and you want some ideas, you could go ahead and check out my playlist. So I think that's almost done. So I'm going to mat my layout on this paper here, which was not measured correctly, so I just made sure to make the correct measurements so it would fit in the page protector. And I just have a Fiskars trimmer there, for which I need to replace the blades because they literally aren't even cutting through printer paper. So yeah, so I ended up cutting it just slightly too short than my original plan, but that's okay. It doesn't look too bad. So I'm just using my ATG, and it's again giving me a really hard time, but as I said, I fixed it and I love it now. So yeah, here I am again after I have repositioned the tape little thingy. I'm not sure what to call that, sorry guys. And that should about complete my layout. And I am gonna do some journaling. I'm sorry again, I didn't cut the whole struggle out. Trust me, it was like 10 minutes of me doing that, maybe even more. So sorry for my head there. Gluing down the piece of background, and I glued it slightly lopsided, but I didn't want to pull it up because I was afraid something would get ripped. So I'm just going back in with the ATG to glue everything down correctly, or like strong enough all around the sides anyway. I'm sorry, my brain is a bit dead today. So here I go again with the ATG. I'm really sorry I didn't edit this out completely. I must have missed a couple of little bits and pieces. So, almost done with the ATG fight. And I'm back with the layout, and I am going to use a pen, and it's a Staedtler light. No, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me now, but it's a 0.1 tip pen from Staedtler, and it's waterproof and it's light proof. I don't really remember. I'm so sorry about that. So I'm just gonna write out a few lines and I'll read them to you. We took the bus a lot. I secretly took some pictures of her, but she caught me. And when I say her, I mean my sister in the photos there. And I am going to underline those lines, those words, after I finish writing them out. And I'm going to doodle some hearts because I always feel that I need to have that journaling pen element in different aspects on the layout. So I added the date at the top just to bring it up a bit. And then I did a Rome 2016 just to bring that pen up at the top, because obviously the dates will be written elsewhere in the layout. Check my intro video just to see how that will work. So again, doodling some more hearts, and then I'm going to flip over the page and write out the day I made the layout. And I usually write the date I took the photo as well, or an approximate date I took the photo. But in this case, it's in the Rome album, which I'm scrapping day by day, so it will be very easy to find the date once you're looking through the album. I don't need to have it on each and every not one piece, on every layout. So thanks for watching and see you next time.